Guys, I did it. I finally figured out how to beat Simon the Divergent star with only one turn of dodges and no Color of Lumina investment, meaning each character only has a maximum of 99 Luminas. No super ridiculous billion damage builds, just bare bones teams that can beat Simon at his own game, and I did it all by myself. Okay, fine, it wasn't all my idea.
You need to leave!
I was scrolling through an Expedition 33 Facebook page when I saw a post with this screenshot. They beat Super Simon with only 10 dodges and 99 Luminas per character. Digging into their post a little deeper, they did it during a playthrough where they can't upgrade weapons or increase Luminas. I'm pretty sure they didn't use any DLC stuff either, which is absolutely insane. They wound up doing enough damage with a level 31 weapon to blast through Simon's first phase. I highly recommend checking out the video, which is linked in the description. Also, check out their channel as well, W Arcade Detonados, if you're interested in Expedition 33 challenges. They have a lot of really cool stuff. That all being said, before seeing their video, I thought this fight was impossible, but I used their video as inspiration for this build. I follow similar strategies, but I do think I changed it up enough to make it my own. At least I hope so. I spent a whole weekend changing and tweaking to speed up and simplify the battle. Because I had less restrictions, I was able to bring the battle down comfortably under 6 minutes. Enough of the intro, let's talk about the setup. Usually I dub my teams as the A team and the B team. But since we have two A teams here, I'm calling the first team the Backyard Shed Nuke team. If you want to use this team yourself, make sure you start with Lune, and then add Verso, and then Mayel. That way they come up in the battle in the correct order. Also, you'll see everyone but CL is at 1 HP. I'll explain why during the battle. A quick way to get everyone down to 1 HP is to put the auto death Lumina on every character except CL, find yourself an early game encounter, let everyone die except CL, and let CL clean up. Anyway, let's talk about Lune. She's equipped with Bracelam for its level 10 passive, plus 5% of a gradient charge on a critical hit. Yep, she's charging up the gradient bar so Mayel can nuke Simon. Let's go over and look at Lune's Luminas, the brand new cookie now in stores near you. Starting out, Lune has First Strike to go first and Faster Than Strong to go twice. She also has combo attacks 1 through 3 to give her 3 extra base attacks. These are going to work in conjunction with Charging Attack, which gives 15% of a gradient charge for each of those base attacks. This works with Energizing Attack as well, giving her an extra AP for each base attack. The base attack bonuses don't end there, she also has Exposing Attack to give Simon Defenseless, as well as Greater Defenseless to amplify its effect. She has Charging Critical, which is guaranteed because Lune is over 100% crit chance, given by her stats in Luck and Defense, as well as her Pictos. I already listed them as Luminas, but these Pictos are Greater Defenseless, Combo Attack 3, and Charging Attack, all of which have critical bonuses. Overall, Lune is sitting at 80 Lumina points. Next up is Verso, who's quite a bit simpler. His weapon is C Reso, which has a level 4 passive that gives Verso's perfection bonus damage to other Expeditioners at half value. Also, the level 20 passive makes support spells 1 Lumina cheaper. His Pictos are First Strike to go first, Faster Than Strong to go twice, and Energizing Start 1 for an extra AP. His moves are Marking Shot to mark Simon for more damage, and Overload to get Verso to rank A. He has 0 Lumina, so let's move right along. Lastly, if you want a nuke, you're gonna want Mayel. Her weapon is Lithium for no other reason than it was already at level 33 and it fit with my stats. I didn't want to burn another recoat. I'm sure plenty of other weapons will work as long as they have a high enough power rating. Her only move is Last Chance to put her into Virtuous Stance for cheap. For her Pictos, she has Cheater to go twice without a damage reduction, Alternating Critical for a 50% crit rate boost, and Confident Fighter for additional crit rate and a 30% increase in damage. Her Luminas are almost all based around damage. First, there's At Death's Door, giving 50% more damage. Augmented First Strike for another 50%, Empowering Dodge for 50% more because Simon's attack has a minimum of 10 required dodges, another 50% from First Offensive, 25% from Glass Cannon, 25% from Gradient Fighter, 30% from Immaculate, and finally another 50% from Inverted Affinity. I don't know if all these boosts are additive, but if they are, that's a 330% damage boost from Luminas alone. Her last 2 Luminas are First Strike to go first and Painted Power to make all the rest of that damage worth it. That leaves her at 65 Lumina points total. I was deciding between Minot CL Brutality and the Stunlocking Duallistes for the team name, but wound up with the second option. Let me know in the comments if you think I chose wrong or if you have a team name that you think is better. Anyway, let's start with CL. She's going to be using the weapon Algueron. If you've seen my other videos, you're probably shocked to see it's not Lithicin. But I'm using Algueron for a very specific purpose, and that's his level 10 passive. Base attack applies 3 foretell. We need that foretell so CL can use Delaying Slash to push Simon's turn back. She also has All Set for buffs and Fortune's Fury for bonus damage. Her Pictos are Combo Attack 2 for both the speed and the extra base attack, Trigger Happy for the big speed boost, and Energizing Turn for the big speed boost and additional AP. She has 99 in both agility and luck for the speed. She also has 99 in defense, but that's left over from another strategy I was playing with that required a higher crit rate. Hopping over to Lumina's, she has combo attacks 1 through 3 for extra base attacks, charging attack to fill up the gradient bar, energizing powerful rush and shell to fill up on AP when she uses all set, first strike to go first, and faster than strong to go twice. This leaves her at 97 Luminas, the most out of any character on the team. Finally, there's Minoko, the damage dealer. He's using the DLC weapon Bagataro. This weapon is an absolute monster. Not only does it scale with defense and luck, which is very nice for crit chance, it has some brutal passives, all of which he's going to take advantage of. Its level 4 passive makes all critical hits burn, which pairs well with the 114% crit rate. The level 10 passive gives 50% increased damage for each time you get into Almighty Mask and doubles the enemy's burns. Finally, its level 20 passive boosts all Mighty Mask skills, consuming up to 100 burn stacks for 2% more damage per burn consumed. He has 4 skills that he's playing with: Lancilier Impale to slow down Simon, Hexica Crush to apply Defenseless, Crule Barrier to apply shields for a specific reason, and Dualist Storm as the main damage dealing move. This is an Almighty Mask skill which benefits from the level 20 weapon passive. His stats are dumped into luck, defense, and might for damage and crit chance. For his Pictos, he has Energizing Attack 1 and Clay's Death, both for speed and crit rate. He also has AP discount for the speed and cheaper skills. Hopping over to Lumina's, they're mostly for damage. First is At Death's Door for a 50% damage boost, which is why Minoko is at 1 HP. Burn Affinity adds another 25%, Confident Fighter adds 30%, First Life adds 25%, Glass Cannon gives another 25%, Immaculate gives 30%, and Teamwork gives another 10%. Powerful Shield gives 10% for each shield point on self, which is why Minoko has Crule Barrier. Greater Slow helps put the brakes on Simon, and Painted Power allows for over 9,999 damage. Also, I'd like to point out that neither First Strike nor Cheater / Faster Than Strong are used in this setup. Turns out the strategy doesn't need them, and the points are better off used for more damage boosts. And there's our teams. Let's see them in action. The battle opens up with Simon attacking at light speed. He's using 2 swords this time, which I weirdly find easier than when he uses 1. The rhythm makes more sense to me. Also, everyone here is at 1 HP because if they weren't, Simon would gather Chroma around one of them to bring them to 1 HP, and I just wanted to save those couple of seconds. Lune is up first and shoots Simon 3 times, then base attacks to start filling up the gradient bar. She's also applying greater defenseless with the base attacks. She follows up by shooting out all of her AP on Simon and then base attacks once more to get the gradient bar over 2.5 charges. Verso is up and uses Overload. He's already at rank A, but if Simon only attacked with 1 sword, he'd be at rank B. Using Overload not only keeps the battle more consistent, it gives a bit of a gradient charge. Then Verso uses Marking Shot to mark Simon. Time to detonate the nuke. Mayel uses Last Chance to get herself in Virtuous Stance and finish filling up the gradient bar. Then she uses Gommage. Between Lune applying greater defenseless, Verso sharing his perfection boost and marking Simon, and all of Mayel's Luminas, she hits for about 93 million damage. Not bad for such a low cost setup. Simon removes the expedition from the canvas and starts phase 2. CL goes first. One little thing I want to point out, you can see that CL has 3 turns in a row. The first turn comes from First Strike, the second is her Faster Than Strong turn, and then her third turn comes naturally because she's so fast. But this game has a quirk. Technically, there should be a 4th turn from Faster Than Strong. I'm not 100% sure, but the game doesn't seem to want you to get too many turns in a row, so they just drop that turn. It's something that happened a lot during my Duallistes fight that wound up causing issues. Anyway, CL is up and does her base attacks, which apply 10 Foretell to Simon. She then uses all set to give the team boosts and AP. Lastly, she uses Delaying Slash to push Simon's turn back. Minoko is up and starts by shooting Simon 7 times, and then uses Lancilier Impale. The shots are to start the burn accumulation, and the Impale grants greater slow to give CL and Minoko extra turns. CL base attacks again to apply Foretell, then uses all set to reapply buffs. No need to Delaying Slash yet because she has another turn before Simon goes. Minoko is up and uses 1 Gradient Charge for Mighty Strike. This does some damage and moves the Bestial Wheel to Almighty Mask, doubling Simon's burn stack. Minoko follows up with Hexica Crush to apply Defenseless. The cool thing about Stunlocking this way is you never have to reapply Defenseless or Greater Slow because Simon never gets any turns to use them up. CL's turn. She uses Delaying Slash to consume Foretell and pushes Simon's turn back because he's supposed to go next. She then uses all set to reapply boosts. Minoko uses Mighty Strike again, which is going to be his modus operandi during this fight. He follows up with Croulet Barrier to apply 2 shields to himself and boost his damage even more. Since Simon has no foretell, CL uses a base attack and then all set again. Minoko uses Mighty Strike, then Croulet Barrier for a couple more shields. Simon has foretell already, so CL is going to use Delaying Slash to push his turn back. This winds up giving her one of those weird 3-turn rounds, but that doesn't change anything. She uses all set for boost, then uses her 3rd turn to apply foretell. As usual, Minoko uses Mighty Strike. This brings Simon up to 204 burn stacks, and that's when it's finally safe to start damaging. He uses Duallistes Storm to consume 100 burn stacks for an additional 200% damage from Minoko's weapon, not including the boost from Almighty Mask. But yeah, that's the basic idea. On her first turn, CL either does base attacks or Delaying Slash, depending on whether or not Simon has foretell. She then uses all set to reapply boosts. Minoko uses Mighty Strike to bring him to Almighty Mask, which doubles his burn to guarantee he always has 100 to use up and boosts his attack. He then uses Duallistes Storm for damage. Slowly but surely, Simon's health whittles down. I went through a lot of iterations to make this battle work. This was my first time doing a Delaying Slash Stunlock, so I messed up quite a bit figuring it all out. But I'm glad with how it came together at the end. It's simple enough to follow and gets the job done relatively quickly. While you could just repeat this process until Simon is slain, I did switch it up a little bit at the end. For this last turn, Simon is close to dead and CL has a 3-turn round again. Instead of resetting the stun loop, CL uses her first 2 turns to base attack. She then uses Fortune's Fury to double Minoko's attack and just barely fill up the gradient bar. Finally, Minoko finishes Simon off with Breakpoint. Now let's watch this excellent cutscene together for the last time in this series. And there it is. Simon is defeated with only 1 turn of dodges and no color of Lumina investment, and in a pretty decent time of 5 minutes and 43 seconds. For anyone that watched every video in this DLC Super Boss series, I just wanted to say thank you. I am genuinely happy that there are people out there that want to watch these videos that I make. I put a lot of work into them, so it's nice that they're being appreciated. So yeah, this is a bit of a turning point for this channel. I burnt out a little bit towards the end of the series, so I may take a bit of a break. After that, I'm planning on branching out a bit, maybe making some videos on different games. For instance, I have some footage from a few runs in Mugenics that went really well, so I have some ideas for that. Besides that, if you have any other ideas or stuff you want to see, just let me know. And that is that. Hope you like this video and have a good one.